So, true to my nature, I do not pay attention half the time, and this is 1/2 inch. These bolts are 3/4. This is about 1/8. Eighth, 3/16, pretty close. Long story short, these bolts are too short. 1/4 20. I think I have some 1/4 20. Here's hoping. Well, that sucks. So I would rather kiss a rattlesnake on the mouth than go back to the hardware store. So I found a Forstner bit. It's pretty much the same exact size as this this nut. So I'm gonna try and countersink each one of these holes to lessen the distance between here and here, so that these short stubby bolts will be long enough. Let's see what happens. So I think I'm gonna name this video "How Not to Install a Oneida Dust-Eddy 4-inch." You know, I really didn't have much other choice other than going to the hardware store and getting longer bolts, and that just really ain't something I want to do right now. I want this thing to be over with because I'm hot. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of playing with it. I want to move on to the next project. So I countersunk the holes. I couldn't fit the washers in there with on the countersinks, so not a big deal. This stuff will seal up plenty for what I need it for. They're good and tight and snug. The one thing that I did run into is around the lip here. From the factory, it was really wavy. Probably would have been a wiser idea. I didn't realize that there's two different models, and the other model has a smaller base around the rim down here, so that would have maybe have been not as wavy. That's why I put the screw clamp on there so that I could pull the plastic down and get the inconsistencies out. And but then you can see all the way around it, you can see that the gasket material is smushed down. So I think we're going to have a really good seal the way it is now. That's just me. That's how, you know, sometimes I roll like that. You know, it's not a, you know, I mean, it's not a project that I'm really into, you know, ready for it to be done so I can get onto the real stuff. But I think this will work just fine for shop equipment, and so we're going to go plug it in. Okay, so you can see, soaking wet, covered in sweat. So where we're at with this is I put some shims underneath it. I put a couple of pieces of 3/4 inch plywood underneath it. I'm probably going to build a little platform, maybe 2 sliding wedges to go underneath so that it, you know, raises it up to a finished height. This is kind of trial and error for me. I've never done this before. I'm learning a lot as I go. Another thing that I may add to make it a little simpler is on the inside of this, just on the inside of the trash can inner wall, I may put a locating ring of plywood around it. You know, it doesn't have to be anything. It could be just some, you know, it doesn't have to be anything. It could be just some 1/2 inch, you know, whatever, MDF, plywood, whatever you have laying around, and make a ring so that you don't have to sit there and fiddle with it and look around the perimeter of it to make sure that your gasket is sitting squarely on top of the rim. I know a lot of people get pretty fancy with their lids and stuff like that. This is a means to an end for me. You know, I think it turned out really well. I'm gonna have to definitely get some different fittings because the old kit that I had doesn't line up with this kit. I had a bunch of mix match parts that was given to me. So in the very near future, I'm going to change this PVC fitting out, get a proper coupler to go to this Y. I'm not sure if this is the way I'm gonna leave this right here is done. This is all I'm gonna do with this. All I want to do now is you know, check it and make sure everything functions and no major air leaks. I know I got a hole down here at the bottom of the trash can that I need to plug because I'll probably be getting a new one anyway. But I really wanted to get this going because my shop is a disaster, and I need to make a run going from here to the run that goes down the wall and goes to the lathe and to the table saw. But for now, I'm just fixing to cut it on and put some sawdust on the floor and disconnect I'm gonna close this blast gate. It's closed off. This is probably gonna be sucking air. Yeah, I'm gonna put some foil tape on that for the meantime, and I'm gonna see what we can pick up. So this was all my table saw would give me. At the moment, I just cleaned it out. Hook him up. Blast gate is open. This stuff here was already in there, so it was just, you can see it kind of blurring around. So let's see, everything, I mean, it's, aside from that old stain, it's spotless. Let's crack this open and see what we got in there. Oh, there it is. Everything that was on the floor in the dustpan, even these little white strips come off the foil tape. It's all in there, every bit of it. And this stuff, like I said, was already in there. Everything worked great. It's all in there. Well, I believe that was a success. A few things. Definitely want to put a locating ring on the inside of the lid. I don't feel like I need a latch for it because whenever you cut it on, the vacuum pressure pulls the lid down. One reason I could see for having a lid is I'm always bumping into stuff and maybe I'll knock the lid off, but it's got a pretty good lip and a good seal around it, so it shouldn't go too many places. Locating ring would make it quicker to just pop down on there, wiggle it around until you hit the edge, and then you're good. I do want to replace the coupling here to actual dust collection fitting, and I will tell you this static that this thing produces is no joke. I really didn't think it was going to be that strong, but it will knock the hell out of it. So Do I think it's going to start a fire, blow my shop to pieces? No, not really. No, I don't have any kind of flammables or volatiles or anything in here like that, so I'm not really concerned with that. But I'm already naturally jumpy, so every time I touch something, it knocks the piss out of me. I don't like it. So what I'm gonna probably do is I'm gonna ground it out right over there to the breaker box, ground it to the shop, so it'll stop doing that. Just whenever I was vacuuming that little bit of dust, I could feel all the hair on my arm standing up, and I'm covered in sweat. So that goes to show you how much static was going, you know, through the hose as I was holding it. So no major leaks. Everything works good. I just got to finish plumbing in that one section and get it back over to the lathe and the table saw, and then that's it. I would have liked to have put it in a corner so that I don't have to see the base, and I may put some kind of piece of plywood over it so you don't see its butt sitting here. So, but I mean, this is the way my shop's laid out right now, so this is just what I got to deal with. Since I built my shop, I've done a lot of learning about setup, organization, which right now it's not organized in the least, but about placement, what tools go with each other. So this shop, the layout has changed 100 times in the past 3 years, and it's going to change probably many, many more in the future. So that's why I kind of leave this stuff open-ended and modular, because I may use it like this for a few months and then decide that this isn't the way I want it, and I'll move it around or change it, reorganize. So nothing's ever permanent for me in this shop. I hope you got something from this. This wasn't exactly a how-to video. This was just basically a vlog, a video watching me fumble my way through this, and you know, just working my way through the problems. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to give you any knowledge that I have. If you have any comments, any information, I love to learn. I love to hear from other people, the way they do things. I'm always wanting to broaden my horizons. Any tips, tricks, anything, just drop them down in the comment section, and we can have a cool conversation about how you do stuff in your shop. So this has been a Fake It or Make It video. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, share.